Jagdish Bhaiya,
Ji Bhaiya.
after this SIP, did you take any feedback from the students? Any change, any exploration?
Yeah, we have taken feedback, but we are not able to take from all.
At least from
So
some of them.
yeah,
This is whether they are,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
exploring
yeah.
or not.
Currently, they are not exploring. I see most of them are busy with the academics.
Mhm.
So I am also little occupied with my works. I had to plan for some sessions regularly. So every week, 1 or 2 hours, so that they will be connected to that. Yeah, I'm sharing this link every week to that group.
Yeah.
Wednesday meeting. So very few are joining. So that I had to work it out how to.
Yeah, we require follow-up meetings. So
Yes.
if the new students of this year are joining after SIP, then we can restart from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That is what I plan. Yeah. We can stop at any. This is now we have reached only session 9 respect, but we can stop here and we can restart from the beginning if the new students are joining.
Not many, only they are old only.
That's also fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we can continue with the sessions. Anyway, they recently listened all these sessions, so they have idea what is going on. I believe. So let us continue, and we can start next round of batch later.
Okay. In many colleges, this SIP has been finished by now. But this link is not going to everyone. That's what I suppose.
Okay.
Sharad Bhaiya is sharing this in all the WhatsApp groups, but still it's not going to the new students. They are the expected audience after for this SIP program. So if they are there, then we could have restarted, or rather we could have given a quick recap of all the sessions also before we pass on to the recap up to the 8th session can be given within some 15 minutes time before we go into this session number 9. That's also possible.
Yeah, we can do that. Just a quick recap what has been discussed.
Yeah.
And so that the new joining participants relate to the present session. Yes.
Right.
So slowly we have participants joining, and we'll wait 1 more minute, and then we officially formally start.
Yes.
Yes, bhai.
In the meanwhile, we are conducting here students workshop in the regional language, Malayalam.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is after a request from one of the teachers of a polytechnic.
Good.
Yeah, but they, as per their schedule, they are busy with the students are busy with many other activities. So only one session per day could be conducted.
Okay.
It's going on from last Thursday we started, and now session number 6 is finished for them. Session number 7 is finished. That is up to trust is finished till yesterday.
One of the co-explorer in our region, so Sarath Bhaiya has shared his number. So I have contacted him, and he is very much interested to do session in our regional language, Telugu, and he want to change the slides to Telugu also. So I have connected him to morning session also. And 3 more faculty from my institute is regularly joining morning sessions now. So that's what the situation.
Yeah.
And I am taking UHV classes for higher sections, UHV 2. And very few are paying attention. That's fine.
That's
and
fine.
Also, whatever they wrote in exam, their own assumptions. So I'm not bothered about that. I told, even if you get full marks, but you are not exploring, that is not useful. Even if you're getting less marks and you are exploring the content, that is very much useful for the transformation of the next generation also.
Yes.
That's what I have brought it to them. Yeah. And meanwhile, I was busy with some project work. Now I am little free from this month. After this Sunday, this Sunday is housewarming function. So after that, I will be little free. So I will take up for first year some sessions again in the week to
As you
attract
said, the
towards
weekly
the
meeting. Yeah, weekly meeting.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that time. Can we start by now?
Yeah, we can start.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the family reunion on Wednesday eSIP. This session is for our exploration further in the content to have more clarity on the content. This eSIP is been conducting since November 2020. So mainly to follow up the student induction program, and main motivation is to have discussion with the students, but we can also have the faculty co-explorers, and we can explore together. I welcome Sunil Bhaiya to enlighten us with the sessions, and I welcome all of you to interact and explore the content and see the transformation through the self-exploration. So thank you, Bhaiya, and welcome, and you can proceed with the session now.
Yes. Thank you, Jagdish Babu Bhaiya, for the nice, crisp, and good introduction. This is also webcasted in this YouTube channel, so many participants are watching the live in the YouTube also. And later also we can see that after the session, many are watching it if they missed out during this time, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. So as Jagdish Babu Bhaiya pointed out, the SIP content of the UHV, or rather the UHV content in which we deliver in the SIP, Student Selection Program, that is being discussed in detail in this follow-up meeting, so that we can have a clarity of the content and helping us in exploring further in our life and experientially validate the proposals. So usually many students are joining, but right now many students are in the examination or they are busy with their academic schedule. But still, there are students who are watching it maybe later. This, as I told you, the YouTube videos. So it is very nice that many of us are following it up and exploring very nicely. And as we can see, many of your faculty colleagues have also joined in this meeting. So at any point of time, we can have discussions because every one of us is like co-explorers. So we can discuss any content in detail, our own exploration with regard to the content, validating the proposals. So there is no point that we are going to complete any syllabus. So we are going to see a few slides in this respect in this particular session as a continuation of relationships which we have been discussing in the previous Wednesday meetings. So mic is given to many of you. If you wish to speak, you can raise your hand and you can unmute and speak. So as a recap of what we have been discussing in the previous few Wednesdays, relationship in the family among the human beings has been in discussion. So we have explored that relationship is there between one self and another self. Body is used as an instrument to express these relationships with the other self. And there are feelings in relationships. Naturally acceptable feelings are there. which can be recognized distinctly, and we can fulfill these feelings through our interactions, expressions with the other human beings. That interaction is happening through the body as an instrument. So this is the fundamentals which we have discussed regarding a relationship as the fundamental proposals. And then we started exploring with regard to the foundation feeling, which is trust. So trust is to be assured, and the details are like to be assured that the other wants to make me happy and prosperous. So this is evaluation of the intention of the other human being, evaluation of self as well as the other, and seeing that the other human being is similar to me, so the intention of every human being is similar. So seeing that is what we refer to as trust. We can easily distinguish that the competence part, my ability part, is different than my intention, and every other human being is different in their abilities. So if my ability, rather competence, is less than the other human being, it is my commitment to seek help from the other. And if I see that the other is lacking in competence, I am supposed to establish a relationship with the other, and with a feeling of relationship, a feeling of affection, a feeling of love, a feeling of say guidance, I can help the other to improve his competence. So this is something, this is say some of the proposals which we discussed in trust. And last Wednesday we discussed about this video right here, right now, in which a series of incidences, a series of events connected one to one, in which there are reactions and some responses are also there. So some of these incidences are related to natural acceptance, some of them are rather motivated by natural acceptance, some of them are motivated by preconditionings, and some of them are motivated by our sensations. So it's a nice video. So we have had discussions upon that also in the last Wednesday. So that is to reinforce rather to explore further into the proposals of trust. So having trust on intention, now we are going to discuss about this respect, which we have seen in the workshops. But let us churn what we have learned in the, rather we have explored in the previous workshop, and to explore further, rather connect these proposals with the with our life experiences. So what we discuss here is essentially this right evaluation of intention and competence, issues which the students usually have, like self-confidence, lack of self-confidence, ego, depression, peer pressure, differentiation, etc. will be discussed in this particular session. Yeah, so this is a connection with the previous discussions. We have explored the feeling of trust already. So in that we discussed that natural acceptance is same for every human being. If my intention is to be happy and to make the other happy, I can also see that the other also has the same intention. So natural acceptance is same for me and the other. That is the first thing which I can verify. But however, I can also see that I am lacking in competence and the other also is lacking in competence. My abilities are different. The other is also having different abilities. So we make a program with each other, essentially on the basis of our present level of competence, with trust on this natural acceptance or intention. So having a trust on intention, we evaluate first of all ourselves, and then through our interaction with the other human beings, we evaluate the other, and we come to a program to help each other, like complementarity with each other. So we discuss about this complementarity part in this particular session in detail. So we have also seen, while discussing peer pressure, there was a session on peer pressure, resolution of concerns. That is, I think, session number 4, in which we try to get respect from others through clothes, language, like speaking in English language, through showing that we are wealthy, so we have more money than the other person, etc., etc. and sometimes eating food, say from high-end restaurants, etc. These are say sometimes for show-offs. So this may be because of peer pressure, and how to handle the peer pressure through right understanding, that also has been discussed in the previous session. But it doesn't seem like to work most of the time. Let us try to understand what is the reason. So here we are going to explore with regard to the competence part. That is essentially the discussion in this respect. Let us explore if understanding respect is a solution. Yeah. So the proposal, as we discussed in the workshops, is respect is right evaluation. But to understand what is right evaluation, let us first of all see what are the kinds of evaluations that is happening with me and with the other human beings. So how do we evaluate? And what is this evaluation after all? How can I evaluate the other human being? These are some of the questions which usually people ask in the workshops. How is this evaluation happening? Do we have some response regarding this? How do we evaluate the other human being? When you say right evaluation, first of all, we have to see what is evaluation, then only the question of right evaluation. What do you think as evaluation of a human being? Anything which you would like to place here regarding evaluation? Ashutosh Ji is typing, other is similar to me. Very true, very nice. Ashutosh Ji, other is similar to me. Yeah. When I say the other is similar to me, this is trust on intention, right? Any other exploration? Can I evaluate the other person fully? Any other person? Let it be my close relative, let it be my close friend, whoever. Can I evaluate the other person fully? 100%. What do you think? If you see that you can evaluate the other person 100%, you can say put yes in the chat box. Otherwise, you can say no. Ashutosh Bajpayee is typing yes. We can evaluate the other person. Okay, let us explore. Jagdish Babu Bhaiya is typing no. Yeah. So these two responses are contradictory. Why to evaluate? Yeah, that is a question. Why to evaluate? Nice. But can we evaluate ourselves? Do we do that? Evaluation of self, our own self. Evaluation is on self only. It is not on body for sure. That is something which we have to see from the outset. It is not on the body. So the differentiation on the basis of body is going to be discussed in detail. But when we say evaluation, this is evaluation of the other self and evaluation of myself on the basis of self, right? Yeah. I can evaluate myself, right? And even when I evaluate myself, am I evaluating myself rightly? Or am I evaluating myself wrongly? What do I do? What do you do? Am I able to see what is my intention and what is my competence? What are my abilities in terms of my right understanding, right feeling? Yeah, purpose, program, and potential is what Ashutosh Bajpayee is typing. Nice. My purpose, my program, and my potential, they are same as the other human being. This is what we see as the minimum content of respect towards the end of this discussion. Anyway, that is true that evaluation is based on these three parameters. Seeing that the purpose, program, and potential, because we have underwent the workshop, we can just even jump to the other slides also very, the content which is in future also very quickly. That's fine. So I can see that the purpose, program, and potential of myself is same as that of the other human being. That is why you say that this trust on intention is there with every human being. Every human being is similar to me. But my question is, am I evaluating myself? Are you evaluating yourself completely? And is it possible to evaluate the other human being? Jagdish Bhaiya is asking why to evaluate. That's also a very relevant question. Why do I evaluate the other human being? So these are to be answered. Now, when I discuss this with you, can you see that an evaluation is happening? As you type your messages in the chat box, can you see that evaluation is happening with regard to the content of discussion, at least? That we have discussed the content already, and we now try to contemplate the content with what is being discussed in this session. We contemplate with our life experiences, and this evaluation is happening with me as well as you. This is happening. Can you see it? And you also evaluate yourself. So what how I learned, or what I have been discussed in the workshop, and what is discussed here right now in this follow-up meeting, evaluation. What is right understanding? My level of right understanding, and can I improve my right understanding with what is being discussed in this particular session? This is also an evaluation. I can see my level of competence better than anybody else's. So the evaluation is happening within me regarding my competence. And we have to improve our competence of evaluation, I would say. Because many times what may happen is, because of our previous sanskar, we may be preconditioned that our society, in which, say, I can say regarding my example, my locality, people in my locality evaluated me like over-evaluation. That I am somebody who can do anything. And with this preconditioning, rather from sensation which what they transferred to me through this expression of feelings, I also believed that at that time that I can do anything. And that generated kind of an ego in me. So I also evaluated myself wrongly at that time. And later only, I realized that my abilities are this much. But of course, I have this potential to improve my competence. And I can do this right evaluation. So we come to this how to evaluate and what is right evaluation in detail after we discuss about the kinds of evaluation which used to happen as we do in the workshop. So respect is right evaluation of the self, of the other human being in the level of intention and competence. In Hindi, we say this is a thik ankalan karna. So we see, first of all, what are the other kinds of, or wrong kinds of evaluation. As we discussed in the workshop, when I say that when my son accomplished certain task, when I tell him that, oh, you have done it excellently well, and I don't stop there talking that he just appreciating him that he has done things excellently well, but I keep on telling that you can do anything. Now, if you have done this particular task, you can do any other task which is given to you, or even you can just find out your task and maybe it's like a project. Let's say you can find out any project and you can do it. What is the result? He generate automatically a kind of an ego within him, as maybe in my case. He thinks that he is the best. So wherever he goes, he sees himself as the best. But when he come across somebody who is having more competence in right understanding and skills, both, I would say, suddenly this evaluation changes. So that may lead to a state of depression. That's a possibility. So the egoistic person, when he sees that his whatever he thinks about himself is wrong, then suddenly the feelings change. Okay, so we say this kind of evaluation is over-evaluation. So to evaluate for more than what it is. The accomplishment is good. And yeah, Tarapasnaji, nice to see you here. You have a point to say? Yeah, yeah. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste, Bhaiya.
Question from Jagdish Bhaiya that why do we at all evaluate? And as I feel, every time when we meet anybody or when we interact or when we do something, knowingly or unknowingly, we start evaluating. First time we are meeting someone or you are talking to a student, you start always evaluating, like, what the student is or how the other person may be, or how is the person, how is that individual, what kind of work this is, all these we start thinking within ourselves. Though we may be aware about it or we may not be aware about it, but when it comes to individual, like human being, whether if we didn't know him earlier, then we may think many things about it, how he or she would be or like that. And if we know something, then we also think something, he is or she is like that. So it goes on, isn't it, Bhaiya?
Right, Bhaiya. Very true, very true. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. Nice point. So as you said, Tarapasna Bhaiya rightly pointed out, we don't need to deliberately start evaluation. It is happening. It is happening within as well as it is happening with the other human being with whom we come across. As you said, if we know something regarding the person, the evaluation is based on that. Maybe a preconditioning. If you do not know anything about the other person, we start evaluation from then. And sometimes this evaluation can also happen with, say, what is being said by other persons regarding somebody. This also is part of evaluation. So somebody else may say that this person is good or bad, does this thing, does that thing, etc., etc. This also is part of evaluation. So this is happening automatically. That's what Bhaiya was telling. Very nice. So we are coming to this evaluation. Once we discuss regarding this wrong evaluations and then come to right evaluation, as Ashutosh Bhaiya is typing in the chat box, that is the purpose, program and potential are same with every human being. We again come back to why do we evaluate? Is this evaluation happening continuously? And what is right evaluation? And do we evaluate ourselves and do we evaluate the other person like ourselves? These things also will be discussed in detail. Nice. Thank you, Tarapasnaji. So we say that this over-evaluation is to evaluate more than what it is. You can also say examples from your life experiences. When you evaluated yourself more than what you are. When you think that you can do whatever you do, but whatever is possible in the maybe in the locality, in the entire world. But when you come to know that this is not possible with you, then what is your feeling at that time? Yeah, so this is one kind of evaluation, over evaluation. Then when my son accomplishes a task poorly, he completes it, but the performance is very poor. At that time, I may tend to say my behavior changes because I see that the performance is less. And that is not at par with some other students or some other peers of him. Suddenly, my behavior changes. If my behavior changes and evaluate him, that hey, you cannot do anything. I never see that he has done something, accomplished something in the past, but suddenly when I see that he is not doing things well, I start evaluating him like this. You cannot do anything. But that is not his actual ability or actual competence. So when I say that you cannot do anything, this is an under-evaluation. This may lead to, as we discussed in the workshop, depression. So what I can see is that my behavior, does it change with respect to the events, with respect to what is happening outside? I evaluate myself, I evaluate the other. And when I express it through these words that you cannot do anything, that leads to this under-evaluation. And what do you think? Under-evaluation or over-evaluation? Are they right evaluation or are they wrong evaluation? No, this is not right evaluation. Evaluating for more than what it is, evaluating less than what it is, both of them are not right evaluation. That is what we have discussed in the workshop too. Sometimes this also happens, as we know. We do not consider sometimes human beings as human beings, right? Wrong. Amaresh G saying it is wrong evaluation. So when we say human being, when you relate human being with materials, just materials alone, just body alone, or some other material, like why are you standing like a stone, is an example which we used to say in the workshops. Or even when we relate or compare human beings with some other materials, even like a statue. Hey, why are you standing like this? Why are you doing like this? Like some other object or some other, say, non-human being thing, whatever. This is otherwise evaluation, evaluating other than what it is. So we also discussed regarding this in the workshop, and this also is not right evaluation, right? So these three kinds of evaluation happens when we evaluate ourselves and when sometimes when we evaluate the other. And all these, I would say that they depend upon the events. Yadish Bhaiya, you like to add something here?
Yeah, namaste, Bhaiya. Before UHV, we don't know this types of evaluation. We were doing this, and I was thinking that is respect. So if somebody over evaluates you, then we are thinking he's giving more respect, and he's somebody under evaluating, so he's not respecting. And many times we see respect as the incidents or action by the others, but after UHV we see the reality of the right evaluation, which is respect. So that's why I put in the message, why to evaluate. So this was the question when I was giving this session in one of the workshops. So the participant asked, why to evaluate? We are getting the respect because the other is smiling towards me, and I am feeling that he is giving respect. So then I understood whatever the incidents that we are seeing, that it may change from time to time, but the right evaluation is what is required to understand respect in the right sense. So that's what I want to put up.
True, very true. When the other person smiles at me, this is an expression of feelings. And the expression of feelings maybe through a naturally acceptable feeling in the other person, or may not be. Can be both ways. So when this expression is there from the other person, then also this evaluation happens. Somebody smiles at you, somebody does not. My evaluation towards the other person changes if I don't have this right understanding. So as we discussed here in this particular slide before you, over evaluation, under evaluation, and otherwise evaluation, they are based on circumstances, they are based on events, and they fluctuate. And all these three evaluations are not right evaluation. That is what we discussed. So whenever the evaluation is not right, is it respect or disrespect? When you are, like Jagdish Bhaiya was telling, so when somebody over-evaluated you, you felt like that was respect at that time. But was that respect? Then when you evaluate yourself, this is happening. When you evaluate yourself, you can see that my competence is not up to that. But the other person is over-evaluating me. So this conflict will be there. Are you getting respected or disrespected? The other thing is also, like when you are under-evaluated, when your higher authority says that you are good for nothing, you cannot do this job. But you, in your evaluation, you can see that, no, it is not like that. I have the ability to complete it at least up to, say, a certain level of expectation, but may not be to that level of expectation of my boss. But I have my ability. It is not like what my boss says. What do you feel like? Are you getting respected or disrespected? And similarly, in the case of otherwise evaluation, when you are related to, or rather compared to, something which is not a human being, or when you are related to just like body alone, or some other material, are you feeling respected or disrespected? Disrespect. So all these wrong evaluations lead to disrespect. That is what we say in this particular discussion here. As a small piece of exercise, we can do this. You can check for yourself in every interaction with others, whether it is respect or disrespect. That is it right evaluation or over, under, otherwise evaluation? Like now, Jagdish Bhaiya?
Yes, Bhaiya. I would like to share my experience regarding this. In recent interactions with one of my, you can say, the research head or someone. So when he conducted meeting and he was telling, you cannot do this kind of activities what I am doing, because you will not be able to do, only I can do. So I was seeing that this is like he's over evaluating him and under evaluating all others, and it is disrespect. So with this evaluation that I was doing, I got feeling of opposition with him. So with this feeling of opposition, our discussion went on arguments. So later I see that he is lacking understanding. His intention is okay, but he is lacking understanding. So now my question is, I had to wait until he sees relation with me, so that I can be helped to improve his understanding. But until that he sees relatedness with me, I will be always having this feeling of opposition. I know that it is uncomfortable for me inside, but always he is under evaluating others. So that's why this feeling of opposition is coming again and again. I'm trying to reduce this, but this under evaluation is making me to feel opposed with him. So how to come out of this way?
Nice. This is a very common situation in which your boss is thinking that he is special. He can only do this job, or not alone boss, but somebody else, and under-evaluates you, and he himself over-evaluates. Now, what you can do is, first of all, set our feelings right. You can notice that this is because of his lack of right understanding and because lack of his competence. I can also see at the same time that I am lacking in competence because my feeling towards the other person is now opposition. So as you said, the relationship may be established with some time. But before that, what I can see in every interaction with him, my feeling has to be set right. Whether the relationship is established or not. But I can help him to improve his competence only after establishing this relationship, not before that. But I don't need to be in opposition or with not naturally acceptable feelings with him, because the competence level is different. I can see this through my evaluation, and I also have to improve my competence. Taraprasnaji is also wanting to add something. Taraprasnaji?
In fact, it is a very common happening, and as you rightly said, that before making other understood about the thing, about their over evaluation, we need to make our evaluation first correctly, then we may go to the other. But certainly when we have a feeling of relationship with the other, with due course of time, we can put few proposals, like we can give some example. When somebody reads our biodata, or in a conference or any session chair, when your profile are being read by somebody, how do you feel? Or when somebody is saying, yes, you are the only person in the entire university you can do. So do you feel comfortable?
No.
we can keep this question always open. That, whether you feel, you feel very, very good, but is that you feel comfortable with that? So that kind of small proposals we can put, but of course in a feeling of relationship that has to be established. Otherwise, the same thing may again lead to an argument. It's true. But many times I ask to myself in the same question, and I found we are somewhere not very comfortable, though it gives us kind of excitement, or somewhere we can see that we are not comfortable, and it leads to over evaluation kind of thing. Just that I want to add, and it came to my notice. Thank you.
Nice, Taraprasna Bhaiya. That is a true example which we can quote, but only with a feeling of relationship. Otherwise, the other person may get offended. So without bringing or dragging him to a feeling of offense, let me set my feelings right, and I can help improving the competence of the other. This is very true, that when somebody introduces, so this has come, I have come across this situation many times. So sometimes what I do is I intervene in between. That is also not good. Now we can see that it is also not good. I intervene in between and say that, okay, this is very, very, very much enough. Now I can start my speech. This also is not good. That is actually offending the other, right? Is it not? Yeah. Let us set our feelings right. That is what we can focus upon. You can see that the other person is lacking in competence. At the same time, I am also lacking in competence. So let me evaluate myself first. What is happening with me when this kind of things are happening? So with a feeling of relationship, if the other is also having a feeling of relationship with me, then let us have a discussion. If the situation is conducive, I would say, in terms of relationship. Otherwise, there is no point in discussing that. That's what I feel like. Nice, Taraprasnaji, for this example. Yeah. So we have Amiresh Patil ji.
Good evening, Sunil Bhai.
Good evening, ji.
Good evening to all.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add up, like basically whatever has been discussed is in line with whatever has been happening with all of us. But still, to go ahead further, I believe the understanding of the other, like me, or looking into the reality is one of the other aspect. Like we to have a better understanding in me with for the other. Like the intention was, as Bhaiya said, Jagdish Babu sir said, and all we are trying to look the other like me. Then the things will be more settled, and my harmony is always maintained. So with that, if I'm interacting, the other can also see that. So he is helping me in my own understanding. So he will accept me in the way it is been offered. So both can be in harmony now. So that's what I can add up at this level.
Very true. Very true. Thank you, Amiresh ji. So harmony is the key, as you said, right? So if my feelings are naturally acceptable, I'll be in harmony.
Yeah.
So let me set my feelings right, as we discussed in the morning sessions too. We discussed regarding this aspect. So to set the feelings right, what I can do is I can observe myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I can evaluate what is happening with other human beings, whether my behavior today with other human beings is with a feeling of affection or a feeling of opposition. I can evaluate this.
Yes.
And I can set my feelings right. I can always see that the other is also lacking in confidence, and I am also lacking in confidence. Very
Both
nice.
can.
Yeah, both
Thank
can
you.
be the issue. Yeah. Thank you. So we can, yeah, one more hand is raised. Vikram Babarji, you can share your experience here. Vikram Babarji, your hand was raised. Mic is given to you. You have to unmute from your side, Vikramji. Okay, there may be a mistake, or my voice is not reaching him, I suppose. You can put in the chat box also, Bhaiya, if you find it difficult to speak. Fine. Nice. So if you come back to this, so many times, as per the discussion of the co-explorers, Jagdish Babu Bhaiya, Taraprasna Bhaiya, Amiresh Patil Bhaiya, and many others in the chat box, you can see that this over-evaluation, under-evaluation, or otherwise evaluation happens. And we are not comfortable with this. So we can see that this is disrespect. So you can observe in every interaction with others, whether it is respect or disrespect, whether it is right evaluation or it is over-evaluation, under-evaluation, or otherwise evaluation. This evaluation happens automatically. We don't need to deliberately put some evaluating methods for this. This happens automatically. Even as Bhaiya was telling, so when somebody smiles at me, I can see that this evaluation happens within me. Nowadays, I see that even if the student or the staff or the faculty is not known to me in my institution, I share a smile with them. And the impact is very wonderful that I get a smile back. Even if, say, when I go to a grocery shop or some other shop, I try to offer a smile. So this is actually playing some wonders in the sense that the evaluation back is nice. So that is kind of an expression through which we can offer this trust and respect also to some extent, right? So that's just an example. So what we say here is, whenever the evaluation is not right, it is disrespect. That is a key point here. So what is this right evaluation? We have to come to that. we will discuss in detail regarding that maybe in the next slide. So when I over-evaluate myself or the other person, that generates ego. I see that I can do anything. I think that I'm special. Or the other person to whom I over-evaluate may also think that he is special, maybe my son or my student, for example. May think that he is special or she is special and I can do anything. So when I over-evaluate, then the other is my reference. I'm seeking this feeling from the other. That definitely leads to indefinite conduct. So depending upon my reference, my conduct also changes. This happens with under-evaluation or otherwise evaluation also. I always want the other to say something good regarding me. But when the other says something bad regarding me, suddenly my evaluation changes to depression. And when he relates myself with some other object, some material object, like this otherwise evaluation, this also leads to depression. Because I'm expecting something from the other. That I always feel that the other is going to say something good regarding me, and that is going, then I will be feeling better if the other says something good regarding me. So the other is my reference. So these two are indefinite conduct. Are you able to see this? Over evaluation or under or otherwise evaluation lead to indefinite conduct. Yeah. Thank you, Tharapasana Bhaiya. But when I evaluate myself or the other person through interactions rightly, as we discussed in the workshop, seeing that the purpose, program, and potential are same, and the competence levels are different, then I have this self-confidence when I evaluate myself rightly. I am self-referential, not changing with what others say. Even if the other says that, like Tharapasana Bhaiya pointed out, that when somebody says that he is the best person in this university, so on and so forth, all those things, I'm not going to change myself. I'm not going to feel that I'm special. I'm self-referential. I know my capabilities. I know my level of right understanding. I know that I have to improve my level of right understanding. I know that I have to improve my level of competence. That is not going to change with respect to what others say. So I can set my feelings right, and my conduct will be definite in such a case. So self-confidence is a result of when I rightly evaluate myself. And I can evaluate myself fully, and I continuously evaluate myself. But when it comes to the other person, I can of course evaluate, but only through interactions. And that is limited. Interactions, maybe like conversations or other interactions with other human being, however close the other person is to me, is very limited. So the evaluation which I make with the other person may not be complete. So what I can do is I can set my feelings right through rightly evaluating myself. Yeah. This also is what we discuss as a chart in this right evaluation, discussion on right evaluation. So if I see that this is my definite conduct, this horizontal line, that is my right evaluation. If I fluctuate my expression outside with what other people say, like this, sometimes I will be in ego, sometimes I will be in depression. Are you able to see this? When you connect this with events in your life, sometimes are you in this ego state, sometimes this your behavior comes in this depression state. Your assumptions change accordingly. and you feel like disharmony when there is over evaluation or under evaluation, otherwise evaluation, tension. I have a friend of mine who is right now doing his PhD. Many times he calls me and says that, hey, I cannot do this because I'm in tension. I ask him why. So some accomplishment, maybe something is to be accomplished. That is why he is in tension. But he is thinking of what is going to happen if he could not accomplish that. I say that there is time, enough time is there with you and enough resources is there with you. Why can't you do that? Right now, if you think of this, what will happen if you could not accomplish this? Like paying back his salary, all those things he thinks of if he could not do his PhD. So if I evaluate myself that maybe if I cannot do this, what will happen to me? This tends to this kind of results like tension, frustration, depression, and sometimes tendencies like suicidal tendencies may also happen. So this fluctuation may lead to sometimes in this ego state and sometimes in this depression state. Any explorations by the co-explorers? We have a few minutes left, so we can have some discussion right now, and we continue with this discussion in the next Wednesday's meeting. If any reflections or sharing anything with regard to the content or the content which is discussed earlier, we can place it right now. Vikramji, are you able to unmute and speak? Your hand is raised. Vikram Pawar ji. Okay, anybody else would like to share something? जी आशुतोष वाजपेयी जी.
हाँ नमस्ते भैया. नमस्ते.
नमस्ते भैया.
भैया prior to listening this content, no doubt we used to evaluate, but that was not right evaluation, that was wrong evaluation. But still what happens, most of the time I try to evaluate rightly on the basis of self only. Okay, ki myself and the other self is similar, and on the basis of purpose, program and potential, and try to relate it with right understanding also. But sometimes I used to slip from that point. Evaluation on the basis of self, that doesn't happen, and at that time that direction is not right for us. For myself, I'm talking about myself only. Most of the time evaluation is on the basis of self only, but sometimes I miss doing that thing, and the evaluation is done on the basis of education most of the time, or on the basis of physical facility he is having, or something else. How beautiful is that, or on the basis of body. It happens sometimes with me also that evaluation is not right. But yeah, what to do regarding this thing, that I can relate it rightly and evaluate rightly the other person as I evaluate myself, that my purpose, program, potential is just like the other person, my intention and the intention of other person is same, and competence is different. We should be in that aura.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, it is nice that you can see this purpose, program and potential are same for every human being. That is the first thing in right evaluation. That's a very, very, very good thing. And now with this proposals, you can see that the evaluation based on physical facilities, based on body, based on any other thing is not right evaluation. As you rightly pointed out, evaluation based on self is the right evaluation. And I can evaluate myself better than anybody else. That is also a point which you said. Very, very true. Very right. So
and one thing I would like to share, Bhaiya, one thing I would like to share, whenever I do evaluation on the basis of self, then I am okay. I am okay, that means I am in harmony, no doubt. But whenever evaluation is done on something else, on the basis of body or physical facility or any other thing, then there is conflict in myself.
True. So when this happens, we can observe what is the feeling which is going through which I am going through. And if this feeling is not naturally acceptable, I can set my feelings right. That is the first thing which I can do through observation. And this observation means this is evaluation on myself. So whenever the evaluation goes to other kinds of evaluation, now I can observe and I can set it right. It is nice that that is happening, and that is what is required, I would say, at this point of time.
Excellent, Bhaiya, that is to be related with natural acceptance also, whether that is naturally acceptable to me or not. Right.
Yeah. When my feelings are naturally acceptable, like what we discussed in this workshop, the 9 feelings, if I can see that the feelings are not naturally acceptable, then I have to observe and I can set my feelings right. If I evaluate on the basis of other things like physical facilities or body or something else, like if someone, if I compare myself with somebody else in terms of dress, in terms of maybe speaking some language or some other say like eating food or going abroad or all these things, this is not going to give me, rather put me in naturally acceptable feelings, and that is not going to improve, or rather that is not going to put me under harmony also. My harmony is lost. When I lose my harmony, I can see that my feelings are not naturally acceptable, and I can, of course, because of this verifying the proposals, I can come back to this state of harmony. We can keep it this open and continue exploring. Yeah, nice.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Nice, thank you. So as it is time, I think we can close for the day, and we continue our exploration in the coming Wednesday. Thank you, all the co-explorers, for this nice interactive discussions. We will meet next Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you, Dharapsana Bhaiya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you for the nice session. Namaste.
Namaste, Sunil Bhaiya. Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sunil Bhaiya. Thank you all the husband. Namaste.